My study is to combine the 4 INTRACT trials CT sub-studies. So INTRACT trial, the 4 INTRACT trials are international multi-center randomized controlled trials to compare the blood pressure lowering to less than 140 millimeter mercury compared with 180 millimeter mercury target. We recruited patients with acute intracerebral hemorrhage within 6 hours of onset. In recent a few trials of blood pressure lowering treatment in acute ICH, including the individual patient data meta-analysis or BASC. So in BASC, we included about 16 trials. All the trials were in acute phase of ICH to compare the intensive blood pressure lowering treatment with the best medical treatment. In that study, we found blood pressure lowering treatment reduced hematoma growth at 24 hours, but it did not improve functional outcome. So therefore, in my current analysis, we explored further. We focus on timing. So whether we start, the earlier to start the treatment, and then patients will be beneficial more from the treatment. Yes, we found the results as we expected. Timing is a very important factor. In this analysis, we specifically focus on timing of the blood pressure lowering treatment. So our hypothesis is that if the patients, if we could start blood pressure lowering treatment faster, earlier for the patients, and then we will be better to control hematoma growth at 24 hours. In our analysis, so we focus on the look at the time trend. We found that if we could start earlier of the blood pressure lowering treatment among patients with acute ICH, and then it's better to reduce hematoma growth at 24 hours. And we also found that the optimal cutoff point is at about 3 hours after ICH onset. I want to emphasize the optimal time window of the 3 hours, what it means for clinical practice. So in our patient cohort, it's a randomized controlled trial. So it includes the process of randomization. The immediate time from onset to randomization was about 3 hours, and then it takes about 1 hour to lower the blood pressure to the target. So typically it's about 4 hours after stroke onset to reach the target. But in real clinical practice, it can be much shorter because randomization is not required. Our information for clinicians is that start the blood pressure lowering treatment as early as possible for patients with acute ICH.